What it do, flight crew? FTC. Flight team stand up! Once again, it's April. FTC, stay faithful. You guys have been requesting this. I said I was not trying to sit up here and watch a full podcast, but we gonna try it out, and we gonna let me know how you guys messing with it. I thought I can even make it even better with the 3-in-1. I got a little So Fresh So Clean Taco Bell mukbang. And I also got a So Fresh So Clean 2.5 million VC pack opening on my team for 2K. Try and get these new cars. Try and get 100 overall possibly and everything like that. Now this type of style of video is going to be react stuff. I have to talk. I'm just going to pause the video. But for the most part, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to be like ears and listening and everything. Y'all were suggesting that I should react to it because they're talking about hoops and talking about like real cool IQ things on the basketball court and stuff. This is episode 1. I know they have 3 episodes. But hey, we're on episode 1, and also I do know ahead of time too, this is the episode actually, if I can remember, a couple of y'all were saying that at like the 37-minute mark, LeBron James has like that little FTC lingo shout out, you know what I'm saying, with the talking about the Lay's potato chips about like some NBA talk. So like we'll probably catch that there, where we are gonna, not probably, but let's get it started. Let me go ahead and say a quick prayer right quick for my food. Come on, Jesus, be my God, let this food be blessed me. Amen. Check it out. Let's see what this podcast is talking about. Like I said, if you guys mess with it, we can continue watching it to episode 2, 3, and so on.
Have this conversation. It's gonna be fun.
Taco Bell menu. I got a grilled cheese burrito, 2 of them. Bro, try that grilled cheese burrito, bro. It's gonna change your life. That's literally the only thing I like on there. And I got 2 steak chalupas. You know what I'm saying? With a mountain Baja Blast.
Make sure we're on the same page with like.
All right, here we go.
Why we're doing
Listen up.
this, right?
Thank you.
I think it's like the core. It's got to be what nothing else is, which is we're celebrating the game, right? So I think overall, like I want it to feel comfortable, relaxed.
Oh,
I want it to strike a very positive tone. I typically rant about things. I'm gonna probably rant today. Like it just comes out naturally, like whatever.
Let's do it.
Mind of the Game podcast. Bro, it's crazy. You would have never been able to like tell me in like 2008, 9 when I'm in like, you know, 8th, 9th grade and shit like that, bro. Like that LeBron is gonna be doing anything like YouTube related, podcast related and stuff, bro. Like this is crazy. I can see him doing some more things like this in the future, bro. And they gonna hit every time. This shit is almost at like 4 million views in like
Welcome to
a week.
Mind the Game with LeBron James and JJ Redick. This is a new podcast presented by Uninterrupted and 342 Productions. I want to be clear here. This is a basketball show. This is a show with the intention and purpose to celebrate the game, promote the game, explain the game. We will be covering a number of topics, not just the NBA, NCAA, men's and women's, WNBA, FIBA. LeBron and I are 2 people who I would call us obsessed with the game of basketball, with this sport that has given so much to us. And 2 weeks ago, we sat down in LA to record the first 2 episodes. The first episode actually asked a simple question. What makes a great basketball player? Beyond just talent and skill set. And we touch on a number of things that we think make a great basketball player. This is about creating separation. Once you get to the highest levels, everybody has talent. Everybody has skill. How do you separate yourself? One of the things we talk about is basketball intelligence. In some ways, it's a nod to the title of the show. We posit the question, can you learn basketball intelligence? Can you learn and develop basketball IQ, or is it innate? And I would argue, of course you can. Of course you can develop basketball intelligence through film study, through great coaching, and of course, through the number 1 teacher, experience. And I think that's an important thing to note. I was fortunate to play 15 years in the NBA. It was a hard 15 years of being a plumber, but I had a great experience.
I swear, bro. Me bitch doing Bro, one key thing about life is being able to joke with yourself, bro. Because that don't take you far. I wasn't trying to be negative, bro. But, fam, the way JJ Redick was talking in the beginning, bro, he was like, man, didn't he go back and do my like research on him? Like, bro, he talking like he averaged like 25 plus per game. Now, don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, it's not trying to be a negative video because we're trying to enjoy the podcast too. But we can't hold back. You know what I'm saying? JJ Redick was a nice, consistent casual. Unfortunately, he will never make the Hall of Fame, and he never made an All-Star game. But he was a cool casual. You know what I'm saying, for his time being. But bro, I did not expect him to come out the blue. Bro, JJ Redick be tapped in the FTC low key, bro. He said plumber. We said that multiple times, I think. Dog,
so much about the game.
That had me dead. That caught me off guard.
Teammates. LeBron, of course, has played the game at the highest level for 21 years. His experience is valuable. His basketball IQ is valuable. One thing to note, if you are listening to this podcast, we also have a video podcast available on social and YouTube. And in those videos, we will be showing the exact basketball concepts that we are talking about. Episode 1 actually has a few different basketball concepts that we talk about. Episode 2 is a little more granular, a little more X and O. But episode 1, we do talk about thumb down. What is thumb down? Thumb down is simply a high screen and roll, a high pick and roll. Thumb down angle, which LeBron references, is just when that pick and roll is angled to a side of the floor. So it's not in the center of the floor. It's either in that left high quadrant or that right high quadrant, closer to the sideline. So thumb down angle would simply be a ball handler with the ball, a player in either corner, another player in the high quadrant opposite the ball, and then the screener. And again, these two guys can play pick and roll, and you play out of that. By the way, a lot of teams call high pick and roll something different. Not every team calls it thumb down. I know when I played for Stan Van Gundy and the Orlando Magic, we had thumb down, which was a high screen and roll with the 5-man, the center. We also had a screen and roll called thumb up, which was with the 4-man. LeBron, by the way, will reference X4 and X5. Some teams call the 4-man X4. Some teams just call him 4. Some teams call the 5-man X5. Some teams call the 5-man just 5. Horn's chest is another play that we talk about. Horn's chest is when two offensive players are in both corners, and then two offensive players are directly above the elbow or free throw line area at the three-point line, creating almost like a horns. And then the point guard plays off of that. So the point guard can dribble off either side. The point guard can also throw the ball to one of the players at the horns, and they can get into screening action. This is horns, very simple. Ball handler, player in either corner, and then two players up here. A lot of times, this guy will be the 5-man, this guy will be the ball handler, and this guy will be the scorer or the shooter. Boston Celtics, by the way, when they run their horns action, a lot of times the 5-man is spaced to one of these corners, and they involve Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and either Drew Holiday or Derek White. Horn's chest is a very simple play. So let's say this is LeBron, and this is D'Angelo right here, and this is the X5, this is the 5-man. D'Angelo would dribble off of a LeBron screen right here, and then the 5-man would then set a chest screen or a flare screen for LeBron to this side. And that's ultimately where the ball
Ought to get clamped up by Curry.
Another play we talk about is floppy, which is a play that I ran all the time. I'm not actually sure why it's called floppy. I do know that the visual for floppy was
I heard about floppy play from my team.
this. So I think floppy means you can basically go to either side. Floppy is when a catch and shoot offensive player goes underneath the basket, and there's two bigs, one on either side, that can screen for him, and he looks to come off of screens on either side and catch and shoot the ball. This is just a simple floppy action. So you have the two bigs. Let's say this is the 5-man, this is the 4-man, this is the point guard, and then you have the two wing players underneath the basket. and let's say that 2 is the shooter, he can come off either side for a catch and shoot. He could also come off the 5-man, catch and shoot. And honestly, this is going to get a little discombobulated. I know when I played with Matt Barnes in Philly, we would just dance in circles in here, and then I'd shoot out one of these sides. When I think about the game of basketball, I regard it as so important. I care for it. I love it. I want to pay attention to it. I want to learn more about it. The game is constantly evolving. And hopefully, these discussions and conversations that LeBron and I have, sometimes with other basketball players and basketball people, hopefully we can do that. Hopefully we can teach and explain and celebrate. Hopefully we can mind the game.
Got a long ass intro, but all those plays he just mentioned, I'll shut those down.
Well, we're going to start off. I brought 2 bottles.
LeBron!
10, 2012. I brought this. This is special. My first championship year. Very special to me. So
It's a good vintage in Burgundy.
very, very good vintage. And then Lynch Bosch.
Bro, it's
95.
crazy just thinking
Just
about
bought
it. Like, now, I don't know if it's whether or not or whatever, but from the looks of it, bro, like, the fact of just being, like, an athlete that long, bro, and just overall through his lifespan, just, like, LeBron never, like, really being on a tree, which it doesn't mean it's going to hold you back from being absolutely greatest or whatever, but, like, the only thing that he literally does is whine. You never really see him openly being on, like, you know, tequila or Henny or just, like, anything, bro. His only thing is just, like, wine, bro. Really inspirational.
I just feel like that's a nice little aftershock. But I'm going to open the 2012 Chambertin, and then we could just, that's okay.
It's more than okay with me.
I heard you're a wine guy, too, so.
Well, I told you this. We were originally supposed to record this first sit down in New York. So in anticipation of that, I actually brought 3 bottles of 89 Leroy Clos de la Roche to the office. And obviously some things came up. We didn't make it work, so.
That's a great sound, by the way.
We were both on the same page. We were
Yes,
both on the same
absolutely.
page,
Absolutely.
which I love.
What is LeBron talking
Funny,
about, bro?
I called your game Wednesday.
Bro said that's a great sound. What?
Tonight against the
Bro,
Clippers.
he is hilarious,
You
bro.
had just an insane fourth quarter. And I was talking about, as it relates to you, competitive stamina, which is simply the ability to do something at a high level and then get up the next day and do it again. And for you, that's happened season after season, year after year. I think the best players have a level of competitive stamina. And it's one of 3 qualities for me that make a great basketball player. Because your quote after the game, it was, I know I was born with some gifts and athletic abilities, but that only gets you so far.
For sure.
What are the qualities for you that make a great basketball player beyond just talent and skill set and size?
Knowing the history of the game. Knowing the history of the game, knowing the ones that came before you, knowing the ones that paved the way, knowing the reason why you're actually having the ability to actually live out your dream. That doesn't happen without the people that came before you. It doesn't happen without Bill Russell, you know, going through what he went through during the civil rights movement and all those things. Oscar Robertson going on with what he had to deal with, you know, during those times. It does not happen if they're able to just be pure in who they are. That allows us to now perform and do it with no care. Also, I think discipline at people, you know what, people use that word so loosely.
What does it mean to you?
You have to have the ability, when it comes to discipline, it's like you have to sacrifice loved ones. You have to sacrifice loved ones for a long period of time if you want to be great. It is very unfortunate.
He's 100% right in that, and like it just worded it 100% wrong. I just didn't sound right, you know. But I already obviously know what he meant by that after a couple of seconds of realization. That's 100% facts. With anything you take on in life, whether what profession you decide to pursue, that's always like a hidden rule not even just the rule I meant to say, but just like the hidden thing that helps you get to that next level of success, helps you get into different rooms of certain things and just having access and or whatever, which is anything in life, man. And that's the thing that sometimes people don't fail to understand is that, like, bro, when you really want something, you have to literally be locked in and be willing to be locked in. You know what I'm saying? 7 days a week. Now, obviously, for granted, like, you know, you're going to have your break days and stuff and everything like that. But for the most part, 5 to 7 day week locking. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to be able to go out to parties and go out, you know what I'm saying, have to spend time, like, you know what I'm saying, with, you know, family or close and everything like that. Loved ones, what he's basically trying to sum it up in order for you to get to that next level. Because, you know, whether you want to hear it or not, you know, obviously, yes, it's always important to, you know, make sure you kick it with loved ones, this and that, or, you know, family, this and that. Obviously, you know, make sure they're doing great and, you know, you take care of them along the way responsibly and stuff. But, you know, you always going to have to be locked in. You can't just, like, you know what I'm saying, be 80%, you know, into your craft and then the other, you know, percentage if you want to make it to the next level. Into that status. So always make sure you remember that.
And
yo.
you feel it at times. You know the saying: if it's too hot, get the hell out of the kitchen. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta get out of the kitchen because it gets hot. But you have to have a discipline. To sometimes you have to sacrifice loved ones in order to be great because they don't understand. And that's okay. They don't understand what it means to, like, I am getting up every single day at 5 or 6 a.m. And when I get home after everyone leaves the gym, I'm going to take a nap. So now you're sacrificing your loved ones because you're not spending time with them. And when I wake up, I'm probably going to train again, and then I'm going to have dinner, and then I'm going to bed. And I'm going to do that every single day for a long period of time.
See, that's the realistic, harsh reality with everything. That's what you're going to have to do. You know what I'm saying? If you want to beat it, remember, if you want to beat it at that next level, if you want to be able to provide, you know what I'm saying, for your loved ones, for generations on generations, you're going to have to be willing to do stuff like that. And you're going to have to be willing to do it on days, well, whether you're sick or whether you don't feel like it, whether you're going through some other things personally. Spit some facts. Okay, LeBron. I feel like throughout these podcasts, you know, and stuff, like, they're going to have, like, a lot of hidden gems. So I see why you guys want me to, you know what I'm saying?
And discipline. You know, and for me, I was 18 when I came into the league. So I got my best friends from high school that's now in college. I got one that's at Ohio State. I got two that's at the University of Akron. I have another one that's at a school in West Virginia, Fairmount State. And they're calling me, telling me, hey, bro, you gotta come down to these parties. You're not going to college. You're never going to be in college. And I couldn't do it.
Hell no.
Couldn't do it. I look back on it now, I wish I would have done a few of them. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I wish I did. But then the third thing JJ asked, do you really love the game? Like, do you really love the game? And I'm not just talking about, like, wins and losses. Do you really love the process of the game and everything that happens before the referee does like this? That's the easy part. You know this. You know this. You was one of the first ones in the gym, one of the last ones to leave. Everyone sees when the cameras are rolling and the 20,000 fans are there and the cheerleaders are dancing and the popcorn is popping and the celebrities are sitting in celebrity row. But, like, who has the love for the game when nobody is there? You know?
I love all of that. And it's interesting, the love of the game part is so funny to me because I think there's a distinction between loving the game, i.e. the game, the actual competition itself, and what it means to actually love the game and everything that goes into that. You hear guys all the time, I just want to play, I just want to play. Okay, do you want to do all the things that are necessary that lead up to playing the actual game?
The guys that say, I just want to play, their career won't be long.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to put in all the intricate parts of to get to that point. It's not going to last that long. It's not going to last that long. You won't have a long, sustainable career, and that's okay. Some guys, I mean, you've been in a locker room. Some guys don't really care about playing a long time in this league or having a sustain.
Bro, he's trying so hard not to throw shade at certain. Bro, that's one thing. Man, I want to see, like, you know how Jordan had it. I never even still seen to this day The Last Dance, but I've heard about certain things that, like, you know, the controversy Jordan did behind the scenes. For example, like, he will be cussing out his teammates and talking to them absolutely craziest. Wouldn't let teammates eat dinner or lunch or some bullshit like that if they didn't play well enough. Bro, I hope there's nothing like that on LeBron. But at the same time, you should not. I would not be surprised, but at the same time will, but not at the same time not really, because you gotta think about it like this, bro. With the mindset that he has, like, just imagine that, like, somebody that's on his team that's not even an all-star, you know what I'm saying, that has potential to work hard and probably become a lot better than what they are, but they're just not even on that, not even like 20% of LeBron's mindset. I wonder how pissed off he has to get at somebody like that.
Yeah,
when they're on
so
their team.
sometimes I look in, like, some of the all-star locker rooms I've been in, and you see a guy 1 year, or you see a guy maybe 2 years, and then he's not in the locker room anymore after that, and you just, like, wonder to yourself why. You know, you don't know. You don't know if it's the max contract that he got after he made the all-star team. You don't know if now they know him by one name for one summer. You know, you just don't know. But it's like, if you want to be great and want to be, like, legendary, or not even, I don't want to even say that. If you want to maximize everything that you have with your career and your ability, then squeeze the fuck out of that lemon.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. I want to talk about each of those three things a little in depth, because I also have three things. But the history of the game part's interesting to me, because you brought up Oscar Robertson.
Mm-hmm.
And whether the casual fan knows this or not, Oscar Robertson sued in 1970 for free agency. And that court case took 6 years. So the NBA really didn't have any form of free agency until 1976. Side note,
What? Bro, imagine? Nah, imagine. I never even knew that to this day. Nah, imagine some shit happen like this now. Bro, social media will be eating that alive, bro. Just imagine no free agency for 6 years in the NBA in this time period, bro. Bro, that would change the league so much. It doesn't seem like it won't, but it low-key will. Because you got to think about it. You got to think about it on just this first scale. Imagine, like, the niggas that don't want to play on the team, but they get in a fat-ass bag and everything like that. So, like, now you're seeing them play these games that they don't even want to be there playing. Like, bro, that would literally shift the entire... Bro, not even just that, dog. Like, how would, like, the damn teams behind the scenes be managing that? Bro, that would be so toxic if that was going on. My bad,
until 1976. Side note, in 1977, at the time in free agency, you had to compensate the team that was losing the player.
Mm-hmm.
So Gail Goodrich left the Los Angeles Lakers and went to the Jazz.
Mm-hmm.
The Jazz compensated the Lakers with some future draft picks. One of those picks turned out to be Magic Johnson.
Magic.
Pretty interesting.
Wow.
You talked about the discipline. It's pretty interesting.
That's pretty cool, though. It's like soccer now.
Yeah.
It's like soccer. You got to compensate the club in order.
There wasn't real unrestricted free agency. John Concact was the first guy, and that was like 1987.
Right.
It just didn't exist.
Right.
The reason, I didn't make as much money as you, but the reason I got to make a lot of money in the NBA is, like, it's a direct line to Oscar Robertson.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so let's celebrate that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You talked about the sacrificing loved ones. I always felt like my pursuit was so selfish.
Yeah.
And I would acknowledge that to my wife, my kids, whatever, my friends.
Yeah.
It was so selfish. But
Yeah.
it was like the only way that I knew how to do it.
That's
the
it.
only way.
That's it.
So you touched on those things. My three things are...
It's such a tough, like, field to, like... I feel like, bro, in professional sports, dog, like... This might be a controversial take, bro, but can you imagine just, like, even for example, I know, like, she's, like, literally, like, the 1 percentile of, like, every, like, you know, how a wife is supposed to be and everything like that. But, like, do you think that LeBron, like, or just like any other like sports athlete, because I just don't want to single certain people out or whatever, just like that is at their greatness and where they either finished off or they're currently still playing, do you think that they will be 5 times better? Will it make a difference, or will it not make a difference, or will they be a lot more like less successful if some of these NBA, NFL, pro baseball players, hockey, etc. was not married? Or will it not be the same difference, or will it be a decrease in their success? Because you got to think about it also for granted, like sometimes like the right woman also can, like, you know what I'm saying, like settle you down in a certain way to where you don't be wanting to. Because if you think about it, dog, like, bro, like let's say even like LeBron and Steph Curry's case and everything like that. Now, obviously, we don't know what everybody does 100% behind the scenes, but what it from looked like, you know what I'm saying, through like, you know, past socials and stuff like that. Bro, it looked like in their 20s and stuff, like, you know, especially like LeBron and Curry. We didn't really, I don't think I remember any pictures around social media or just like anything like on like an ESPN or Sports Center, just like some cool thing behind the scene of like them going to like a club or them going to like a strip club. Like, not saying that there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You definitely want to have fun and stuff. But that's the debate that basically what it helps boil down to. Like, I think sometimes like the right person, an athlete that has the right woman and the right wife, you know, that's not a gold digger and stuff, and or toxic, they can literally like help extend an NBA or a professional athlete player's career, bro. Because that was a really good thing that I just thought about in the back of my head. Like, we have never really seen like LeBron and Curry like in any type of like high form clubs or like something party scene. Now maybe in like a baby shower or like a wedding of so like one of their NBA players, or just a personal friend or something, or just a family get together or party, or them going somewhere. But like if you're just talking about like actual like you know 20s and them having fun, like they was pretty like grounded and stuff, and looks like they're more focused. So I think like that's a pretty interesting argument. What do you guys have to say about that? Does it help? Or could it possibly hurt? Or does it really not even matter, you know what I'm saying, for a professional athlete, if they're married, will it impact their success in their career?
Competitive stamina, which I'm going to get to in a second. The love of the game is one of mine, for sure. Caring more about your craft instead of the other stuff that doesn't matter is a direct quote from you.
For sure.
And then the third one, I think, is basketball IQ.
Yeah.
Basketball IQ. I have described Nikola Jokic, I've described you as having supercomputers. Like, your processing speed is a little different. I put James Harden in that category. I put Luka in that category.
Yeah.
There's a number of guys
that
have like a different processing speed. Some of this stuff, love of the game, that's a little bit of just desire, attitude.
And FYI disclaimer, if you guys see my eyes going like this back and forth, I'm on my other screen doing a 2.5 million pack opening on my team for 2K.
Dude, all that stuff. Competitive stamina, same thing.
Yep.
Can you develop basketball IQ at the highest level? You can get a little smarter as a player. Can you develop it as a
You know what's funny? When you brought up basketball IQ, the first thing that came to my mind, I started thinking right away. I was like, are you born with basketball IQ, or are you taught the game the right way, and now the basketball IQ clicks on? Like, I was literally just, when you was explaining that.
Bro, there's so many good takes. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like I said, keep making sure. I know there might be 15 plus pauses, but I'd rather pause the video and talk. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to talk over anything. But bro, no, that's an interesting ass take right there, bro. It's both. Like, you can be giftedly IQ'd in the sport, and also you have to learn it at the same time. You can't just be born and just know everything about the game. You have to have experience about it too, with just the amount of times you play.
Because I come from, I believe, great coaching. You know, from my Little League coach, Frank Walker, senior, to my, at the time, AAU coach, Coach Drew Joyce, to my high school coach, who was a former college coach, Coach Danbra, and then my AAU coach took over when Coach Danbra went back to college basketball. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I was taught the game the right way. But the one thing that those coaches always told me, they told me that I had an uncanny ability to process information faster than anyone they've ever seen. One coach, and this is, I know you're gonna smirk about this. There's guys
That means
in the
LeBron might be capping. That's why he said it.
NBA that if you call a play or a coach draw a play to one side of the floor, they can't switch it in their head and do it and say, let's run it to the other side without the coach drawing on the clipboard.
Yeah.
I've never understood that. And I don't know. I never understood that. So if I say we running thumb down angle, we're running on the right side. So because I have a left-hand point guard, he wants to come middle to a strong hand. He has the ability to hit the pocket pass with the left hand, has the ability to throw ahead, he's lefty, and also has the ability to throw back on the shake. But if I say, hey, we run a thumb down angle on the left side because now the right-hand guard coming right, I've had teammates that's like, oh, what do you mean? Coaches always, in practice, we only ran it from this side.
Yeah.
I could flip a play when I was 8 years old. No matter if it was just pass and cut, no matter if it was, let's run flex, but let's start on the left side. No matter if it was just, let's DHO, driving kick. The last one, all right, now let's just drive the baseline drive, drift. If the forward on the left side is looking at the ball, you can slot cut. I could do that. I was doing that stuff when I was like 8, 9 years old, and my coaches would just be blown away, and I wouldn't know where it came from. I have no idea. So to get back to your question, I think I was born with a sports IQ, and it could have been any sport, but I just think basketball was the one that I chose, and maybe I was chosen to do that as well. Yeah. And I just took it to a whole, as I got older and your mind gets, you start to live it, you start to want to be a part of it, you start watching. I started watching the games, when I was like 9, 10 years old. When I first started, I was watching just a fan. I was just a fan of Michael Jordan and Anthony Penny Hardaway and Grant Hill and, those guys. I was just a fan. But then when I started playing the game, I actually started like studying what those guys were doing out on the floor and what teams were doing, how teams were guarding, how coaches were coaching, subbing patterns, time of possession. One thing that kills me, JJ, in our league, I'm gonna tell you what kills me.
Tell me what kills you.
The 2-for-1 shot at the end of quarters.
Are you going on an anti-crusade against the 2-for-1?
I understand.
Bro, what was that type of
the
delivery?
2-for-1 is important.
What was that?
Anti-crusade against the 2-for-1?
I understand.
What the fuck? Bro, no, that was, yo.
At the end of quarters.
Are you going on an anti-crusade against the 2-for-1?
I understand.
Bro.
Why the 2-for-1
Why he say it
important.
like that, bro?
Obviously, it's numbers. You get 2 possessions, the other team gets 1 possession.
In theory, it's a free shot.
In theory, it's a free shot. But what people sometimes don't account for, the 4 or 5 possessions before that. Are we on a run? Are we on a heater? Have we gotten a good shot over the last 2.5 minutes? What is the other team doing? How are they in a great rhythm? If we haven't gotten a great shot in 2.5, 3 minutes and we've been turning the ball over, why am I just gonna dribble down and shoot a 40-footer with 33 on the clock? Why not get a great look? Because that great look at the end of the third, even if we get 1 shot, may give us momentum going into the 4th quarter.
Because it's like a high-risk, low-reward type ish. It's like a gamble. Like, I mean, I kind of don't agree with what he was just saying. It just sounds, like, to be honest, 2-for-1 has always been like, convenient. You have more chance to score it. And the point of basketball is to score as much points, as you can before the game ends. So it's like, why would you limit yourself just because you think you can take a good shot when you can take multiple shots?
It's interesting because I think it does fuck with the flow of the game. And as a player, I felt that. As a broadcaster now, where I'm calling games, you have such a good feel as like an outside observer of this action happening. So, end of the second quarter, you're going into halftime with the lead. You've established, let's say, a pick and roll partnership where you're getting a good shot every time down the floor. On the other end, you're getting stops. You're getting stops. So the other team's having, you're right. Why are you going to just jack up a 35-footer? Just go to the pick and roll, rely on your defense. Now, boom, you go into the half with essentially the same momentum you would have if you get the 2-for-1.
Yeah.
By the way, you shouted out your coaches. I want to say this because I think some of it is innate with basketball IQ.
Yeah.
Some of it is the way you're taught.
Uh-huh.
Some of it is going back to your point about discipline, the dedication to the craft. I gotta shout out my coaches now. Because Delmar Irving, Keith Haynes, Dick Wall, my early coaches for the Roanoke Jaguars, they taught me how to play. They taught me how to play with toughness. I get to JV, 8th grade, Chris Morris, Billy Hicks. Then I go to Coach K at Duke. So by the time I got to the NBA, I knew how to process and think the game. It wasn't new to me. It wasn't new to me to think the game.
You also knew it was bullshit and what was not bullshit.
Yes.
There's a lot of bullshit that gets taught in our league because our league has been feast off potential. Guys with potential. They come in and say, this guy has potential. We have to, if it's not year 1, maybe year 2, or not year 3, or maybe year 4, or we're gonna pick up his option in year 4. Like, it's been grasped on potential. Like that's the whole thing of the lottery. The whole thing of the lottery, pick 1 through 13 or 14, I don't even know what it is now when it cuts off like you've been a lottery pick. But it makes sense why those guys that's like 16 to 30, 16 to 42, why those guys be on real contending teams making impacts.
Why is it the same teams that always draft well? And the same teams that always draft poorly?
I'll tell you when I get my team, the teams that draft well, those guys will be working for me for sure.
Just you get to offer them a bag.
That sounded crazy.
Sure.
You got to get
OKC does an unbelievable job with that.
That's a fact.
Yeah,
that's a fact. I was thinking about, you know this, so by like the end of my first year with the Clippers, we realized all of my catch and shoot stuff, I wanted to come over left shoulder.
Yes, sir.
Right? I wanted to come to my right.
Yes, sir.
And so for the next 3 years, every single time we drew up a play was to do that, right? When I got to like Philly, to your point about like guys not understanding this, I got to like Philly and New Orleans, the coaches would draw up a play in the huddle, and I'd be like, no, I want to come over my left shoulder. Just flip it. And I'd walk out on the court, and then my teammates would be like, oh, what am I doing here? You know what I mean? I'm like, no, just flip it. Which guys, by the way, the processing speed, I mentioned a few guys. Guys you played with, guys you played against, that you think have that sort of high-level basketball IQ?
Rajon Rondo.
Yeah.
For sure.
Really?
He can process, flip, do things on the go. Like, it's very weird to me that he's not coaching at a high level. I think it's because he doesn't want to do it.
It's a lot.
It is a lot. It is a lot.
Nah, Rondo would be because you gotta remember, even when Rondo played, he was one of the if you NBA players that does stand on business. Like any type of altercation, Rondo is in the mix of each and every one of them. Bro, Rondo was still off on probably his either players, a ref, or one of the other coaches on the other team. But bro, Rondo was the highest IQ LeBron has played with. Damn, his other teammates that played in the past ain't gonna take that one.
These rich entitled guys all the time.
You guys make too much money.
It's just a weird thing.
You guys make too much money.
It's just a weird thing.
Let's get a cheers, man.
Let's get a cheers, man. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you for the wine, by the way.
It smells amazing, too.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm not a fan of red wine, bro.
Going back to that competitive stamina thing, because I was calling the game, and I knew this because I played in LA, but Clippers home games against the Lakers is not really a home game. Half the crowd are Clippers fans, half the crowd are Lakers fans. And so the arena felt very subdued, you know, because you guys were getting your ass kicked. The body language was bad. I think I even mentioned that on air. Like, you just saw it in the huddles. You saw it coming out of timeouts, going into timeouts. You saw it when guys were getting subbed out. Like, it was just bad body language. And then, as Darvin Ham said, you decided to put your cape on and lead this comeback. You outscored the Clippers by yourself in the fourth quarter. In that moment where you're down 19 in the fourth, It's a dead game. You know your team is, I call it like letting go of the rope. You know, Doc Rivers used to always say that. Don't let go of the rope.
Yep.
What goes through your mind?
You probably got a few minutes to try to change it, or you're gonna get pulled. Knowing it's a back-to-back. Knowing that, okay, we lose to the Clippers. We got our ass kicked, okay. But we can't then in the very next night lose to Washington as well. So I go out there down 19, you know, with the lineup, I believe at the start of the fourth lineup, it was myself, D-Lo, Jackson Hayes, Torian Prince, Cam Reddish. So, you know, coach drew up a play. First play, I believe he drove up Horn's chest. And they fucked up. They fucked up on the Horn's chest. So we ran it again. And this is another thing that bothers me about the NBA too. Why do we not continue? Just run the same thing over and over until they stop it. Guys would run a play one time, then you would score, and then they'd change the play. But anyways, we ran it again, and they fucked it up again. So, I mean, for me, if I see 2 threes go down, I'm going to check and see if it's a heater in this right elbow for sure. And I hit another one. And at this point, now I'm feeling really good. I got a nice bounce in my step. We're getting stops, and you know, I take one down the right wing, and PJ's picking me up in transition. And I rarely shoot the ball on the run, you know, especially if the ball's in my right hand. I rarely shoot it. But I had a bounce and I had a feeling. I felt like I said, if I can make this one go, I know. This is when, like, NBA Jam, you're on fire. You know, if this one goes,
He said NBA.
And I let that one go from the right wing by their bench. So I kind of almost bumped into T. Lue, and they called timeout. That's when I knew that the momentum can change. You know, the momentum can change, and once the snowball gets going down that hill, you know, snowball turns into the avalanche, and the avalanche just turns into it's over with. You know, so I just felt good at that moment.
It's a few things there. So, like, with the 3-ball, we've seen it so often now. No lead is really safe.
No.
Think back to
that 3-ball
early in your career. I came in the league in 06, 07. I played no minutes my first 2 years.
Yeah.
But you know what? If we had a 19-point lead going into the fourth, I might get all 12 minutes of garbage time.
For sure.
People would clear their benches.
Yeah, for sure.
This was 15 years ago.
For sure.
People would clear their benches with a 17-point lead in the fourth and 9 minutes to go.
Yeah, for sure.
You can't do that anymore.
You can't do that anymore. You know why? Because I believe in 08, 09, or whenever that little light-skinned fucker came in the league that's in Golden State.
LeBron, don't talk to my glorious king like that. Nah, Curry got to respond, bro. Now, I know this podcast was, this episode 1 was uploaded about like 2-3 weeks ago. Curry, you got to respond by the end of the season. I know, because, like, we focus on winning a title in 2024, bro. LeBron knows the Lakers ain't winning a title this year. LeBron, you got to speak highly of Wardell.
Yeah. He did. He single-handedly changed the no lead is safe. It's like Pat Mahomes right now.
It's interesting you bring up Steph, because I think there's
Love that guy,
a long history of
obviously
great
trolling,
players
I know.
that have impacted the game. And you can see a lineage between different skill sets, right? Michael to Kobe, right? You can see that. I don't know that there's been a player that has influenced the game more than Steph. And you can certainly point to, like, Harden for sure in that era, Damian Lillard for sure, but you're right, it started with Steph.
When it comes to influence, since I've been watching the game, the most influence on the game, and obviously we know what Mike did for the game.
Sure.
You know, Steph and Allen Iverson are the 2 biggest influential guys in our game since.
Wow, LeBron. This right here is the best take you have ever said, not even just NBA career, just an entire life. LeBron, 10 times more respect. I did not notice. That's how he felt. Wow, that just made me happy and made me smile. I can't believe it. Wow, that's a shocker right there. 2 favorite NBA players of all time in right now, man. Steph Curry and Iverson. And he just said it. So this just proves the fact that if Iverson and Curry is not in your top 10, your list does not matter. It doesn't. Throw it away and try again.
Since I've been watching and covering it, one, they're 6'3", 6'4", if you want to.
Steph's not 6'4".
If you want to look on the back of a basketball card, you're always a lot taller on the back of the basketball card. Allen Iverson and Steph, they were just so relatable, and kids felt like they could be them. They were guys that was not always counted on. They were small in stature, and they just defied the odds. So you got AI, who's like unbelievable crossover, cornrows, arm sleeve. We wear arm sleeve. Everyone wears an arm sleeve now because of Allen Iverson.
To be fair, too, which is crazy, every time when I mention about Iverson, I've always been saying that he's the most influencing NBA player of all time with the braids and the tats and shit like that, being, wearing it in the league and stuff. But, bro, I always leave out the arm sleeves. Now, thinking about it, bro, Iverson did start that arm sleeve trend. This man, Iverson, is a literal, generational, iconic sports player, bro. Bro, he has to be put in the conversations more. He has to be in the top 10 of all time. It just doesn't make any sense that people can not even have respect to put him in the top 35. That's crazy. I never even thought about it. That's actually facts. Now, knee, sleeves and knee braces and, all those other knee type and leg stuff, that was obviously since, the 80s and 90s. But remembering, if I can, from any of the highlights, at most, maybe a player would wear that little armband, the little mini small band, but nobody was wearing the arm sleeves ever, bro, until Iverson came in the league.
And he's going in the trenches, laying it up over bigs, whatever the case may be. And now you have Steph, who's shooting over the Empire State Building. It's just those two are the two most influential when you say the game, how they changed the game, and the kids, and those are two guys that you just wanted to watch every single night.
I have an arm sleeve because of Allen Iverson. No bullshit.
Listen,
no bullshit.
One of my tattoos is because of Allen Iverson. For sure.
Steph, I think
LeBron's inspirational, man.
The influence with Steph, I think, is he fundamentally changed how we viewed how the game should be played with the 3-point shot. Do you think, because part of the Steph thing and this 3-point revolution for a fan is that we have now simplified the NBA. All right, we're just going to shoot a bunch of threes.
Yeah.
My question to you, going back to that basketball intelligence piece, does the game require more basketball intelligence now, or does it require less than when you first started?
Bro, before you even answer, it has to be way less. You don't need to have no IQ to play, especially in the NBA nowadays, bro. All you need is a 3-pointer above the overall of 85. Motherfucking decent defense. Your stamina up there so you can play 30-plus minutes. And just to be at least 6'4" and up. And if you're athletic, that's a plus, but it's not needed, but it's a plus. But, bro, if you got those 3 things that I named, you're going to have a 10-plus long-lasting year career, get the big bag and everything nowadays. In the early 2000s, just having those 3, that wouldn't have cut it at all. But nowadays, those 3 things, that's all you need. Even you future young hoopers out there, bro, all you need is your stamina at 90-plus overall, your 3-pointer at 85-plus, and to be 6'4" and up to have a long-lasting NBA career. Now, if you're under 6'4", that doesn't mean you're not going to be in the NBA or have a long-lasting career, but you're going to have a better chance if you're 6'4". That's the default build in 2024, bro. Literally.
You can't ask me that because I'm always side on basketball IQ.
Yeah.
Always. I think throughout the regular season, you can get away with a low IQ team if you're talented. You can get away with it in the first round and maybe get away with it in the second round. But when you get to the conference finals and you get to the finals, obviously, the top 4 teams in the conference finals, they have players, unless a team just happened to hit a heater and they just get lucky. But the top 4 teams normally are going to be the teams with the best players, for the best coaches. And what's going to separate them is now the basketball IQ kicks in. Because there's moments in the game that a coach cannot prepare you for, film can't prepare you for, the history of the game can't prepare you for,
Right.
where you have to have a basketball IQ to make adjustments right away. And if you don't have that level of mind frame or capacity, then a team like Denver, who has one of the greatest IQ guys that we've ever seen in Jokic, Golden State.
IQ. Now, I understand Golden State. That's a fact because of all the screens and certain different plays that we run and stuff and defensive sets and just different things on offense. But, bro, they're not just don't got IQ, bro. They just have 3 all-stars on the team, Jamal Murray, Jokic, and then either Aaron Gordon or MPJ. Out of those all-stars, low-key got a big 4, bro. And then they got a solid bench. I mean, if you think about it, Jokic doesn't really have an IQ like that. I have a higher IQ than Jokic even on my worst days. What separates Jokic from other centers is that he's very good on his feet. He has great footwork. He has an 85 plus 3. He has good upper body strength. He can post up and get points in the paint. He has decent defense. But he doesn't have no IQ. Absolutely not.
Draymond, Steph, any one of my teams, if I played you in the finals, myself, and when I won it in 20, it was myself and Rondo on the floor. So I think that those things help. I believe that when Golden State beat Boston, it came down to IQ in the finals. Because Boston, to me, had the better talent. Boston had the better talent. But it came down to IQ. People say experience, IQ.
I made this comment the other day about Tatum. It feels like with him, the reads are quicker, making the right play, it's just quicker. He doesn't fight the game as much. I did the details thing for ESPN during that finals, and I did Clay was the first episode, Steph was the second episode, Tatum was the third. And so I had all these Tatum clips I got to go through and break down. I don't never watch the episode. It's behind a paywall. But what I saw was on the isolations on the wing. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times would be in the slot, the high quadrant, right? And they've given him space. They would bring that low man over early. Sometimes it was Draymond, but not always. Sometimes it was Clay. And very rarely did he end up getting the Golden State Warriors into rotation. Now it feels like he's just making the play off the ball. Now, it did happen a couple times in that finals. But it wasn't as quick, and it was rare. And obviously with their personnel, like it's different now with Porzingis, but I think that's part of like the growth. So
that's part of the
even
growth.
Going back to like the question about can you teach basketball IQ, in some ways it's innate, but in some ways, if you're studying it and doing it, you can see the growth in a player.
Yeah, because I mean, there's a great saying that says the best teacher in life is experience as well. And we look at Tatum, I mean, he's 25 years old. He's 25 years old, and I believe he's been to the conference finals 4 times.
Bro, yo, that was some shade that I don't give a fuck what nobody said. Nah, he definitely threw shade. That is crazy. Yo, he basically like Tatum pushing 30 and been in the conference finals 4 times and hasn't gone anything. Yo, what is Tatum's response to this? I'm not trying to be an instigator.
To obviously the NBA finals once. He's 25. I didn't win my first one until I was 28. I think Joker won his first one at 27. I think MJ was 28 as well.
Kobe without Shaq was around the same age.
So
Steph was.
I think we have we have a lot of expectations on JT, but he's experienced a lot of winning in his career so far. And obviously we everyone wants to see him get over the hump, but 4 conference finals in a finals appearance before the age of 26 that's elite. And like you just said, he's continued to grow, and they are in a position where they can make another title run. And like you said, personnel helps. Adam Porzingis and getting Drew for a bag of Lay's potato chips. That helps as well. that helps as well.
There's a golden clip. Now, disclaimer, we already knew that he did the FTC lingo and everything like that about 6 or 7 times prior, but, bro, it's funny every single time the way he just said that casually.
Oh, but JT is definitely the when you go and you start scouting for Boston, he's the number one guy for sure.
Basketball IQ, to me, when you were earlier than me, when I first got in the NBA, though, what that meant to me in some ways was being able to remember a play. Honestly, as simple as that. Being able to recognize patterns.
Yep.
You come out of an ATO, okay.
Oh my God.
There's a misdirection here. I know there's going to be a pin down coming, right? It's just that's pattern recognition.
Yep.
Offensively, defensively, it's just making the right read.
Making the right read.
Knowing the game plan, like all that. That's basketball IQ. I think what's interesting about today's NBA is what smart coaches do and what smart players do, which did not happen when I first got to the NBA. Nearly every possession, all you're doing is trying to find the right matchup.
A target.
You're playing chess on the possession.
It's target basketball. Yeah.
And that to me is the biggest difference.
Yeah, that never happened.
Bro, I was watching a game. I was calling a game, actually. Guy had the ball. Good offensive player. Had the ball at the top.
By the way, I haven't pulled nothing in my team, y'all. Do not open up none of these packs. Do not waste your money on 2K24, bro. These packed odds has had its all-time lows. Back to you.
And they're playing the Clippers. And end of the shot clock, 7 on the clock. Another guy off the ball is being guarded by Kawhi Leonard.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes up to set a pick and roll for the guy with the ball.
And it makes no sense.
And I'm like, that's just low basketball IQ.
That's just low basketball IQ.
Keep Kawhi away from the ball.
That is low basketball IQ. That is low basketball IQ. That doesn't make any sense. And that happens a lot in our... And I'm going to go back to when you first started. You said remembering a play. How many guys fuck up a play out of timeout? Burns me alive. It burns me alive that a coach can sit there and guys, all 5 guys, 10 eyes, are looking at the play and they come out of timeout and fuck it up. Bothers me so bad. But yeah, like you said, you knew, like when you played, you had 2 reads. I'm coming off left, right, and if the big is not up, I'm shooting that bitch. And if the big is up, I'm pocket passing.
Yeah.
What else are we talking about?
Well, the one other thing, sometimes the big would be back, right? And I'd get the stun off the passer.
And you get the stun off the passer.
So like when I played in Philly, they would do that off Ben, and then I would just kick to Ben, and he's got a head of steam going down the lane.
Well, I mean,
right?
And when Ben
you got to read the nail guy too.
You got to read the nail guy.
Some cheats.
Don't kind of like underestimate.
Well, that's not. Well, that's not.
Don't going down the lane.
Well, I mean,
right?
And when Ben
you got to read the nail guy too.
You got to read the nail guy.
Don't kind of like underestimate.
Well, that's not. Well, that's not.
I started trying to throw shit at Ben. I mean, it's deserved.
Well, yes, I agree. I agree. I was more thinking with the Clippers. I was thinking more with the Clippers. A pocket to.
It's so weird though because even like the coverage on catch and shoot stuff, and there's not a ton of catch and shoot guys right anymore. Where like you're not running floppy. That doesn't happen a lot.
Yeah.
But like when I first started running it, or like Ray in Boston. When you're running that, you would always stun up with the big. And the pocket pass was always there.
Always there.
Once teams started playing more drop coverage, they just kept the big back and catch and shoot.
Right.
And so a lot of times that help would actually come off the passer. So if they knew we were in a catch and shoot play, kick to me, the help comes off the passer, then it's I got to make that read back to the top.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, because now offense is so more extended now. You know, the big could be the guy that can help up a little bit because, if you look at like Rip Hamilton, at the time, he wasn't coming off their floppy down action going to the three-point line. He was coming off more elbow action, so you can kind of.
Hold on, y'all. Yo, I pulled a 99. Derrick Rose. I know it ain't $100 overall, but that's an upgrade on the squad. All right, better.
Contact help with the big.
First good pull.
Mostly.
Still not worth the money. Do not open these packs, though.
When we came in the league, there was a point guard in the front. There was another forward at the free throw line, and there was 2 bigs. So even if you did get extended a little bit when you made the pocket pass, at least the other big, X4, X5, could come over and help. Now, well, like, in Boston's case, it's 5 guys on the perimeter at one time.
Nobody's in the paint.
Nobody's in the paint. You have Drew, Jason, Brown, Porzingis could be at the top. He could be, you got Derek White. They're all over the place. So, the level of where you help from has changed a lot because the bigs in basketball history have been programmed to help no matter where they are, and that's where the IQ comes in too. You got certain bigs that if I just drive this slot, and they say, don't help strong side shooter in the corner. That is the easiest 3. You just know that there's certain bigs that he's going to leave no matter what because he's been programmed his whole life to protect the rim.
Hey, man.
I think we can wrap there.
Looks like the first.
Because if I go to the next thing, we're gonna talk for another hour.
Yeah, because I can talk.
No, I'm serious. Like, because that was legitimately what I had as episode 1.
Yeah, you should have kept it running. JJ Redick selling clips.
That's been fun.
Yeah. How was it? Yeah, just keep rolling. How was it? Subpar? That's me. Okay. Only okay? We got room for improvement.
This has been episode 1 of Mind the Game.
So, shout out to JJ Redick and of course having LeBron in his podcast and stuff. Y'all can listen to the full thing, I guess, over here and everything. Let me know if y'all want to see any more of these future podcasts. Definitely pretty interesting. I like that there was like hidden gems along with that. I definitely also like opening packs. And if you guys also along with watching the podcast stuff don't like opening packs, I just want the card. But 2K will. But anyway, bro. Next time, if you let me know, also I can. It is perfect because I thought about it in the back of my head. But if you guys want, I can also for the next time if we react to like what I'm saying, this podcast again or just any type of like future like talking dominated type of stuff where we don't have to visually look at it too, but listen, react type of shit. I can put the gameplay of the pack opening on like the top right corner of it next time, and I can have it like as a small screen window. Like right above me right here. But let me know if you don't or don't. It's no pressure, and it doesn't really change it because like if I don't pull a card anyway, it's not like I'm gonna really miss out on anything. But let me know, everybody.